President Barack Obama, members of Congress, my fellow Americans, my name is Alexandra Lugaro, and I'll be running for governor of Puerto Rico in the next general election. Today, I'm not speaking to you only on my behalf, but on behalf of the 3.6 million of Puerto Ricans that live in Puerto Rico and the more than 5 million that live on the U.S. mainland. Since 1898, we have been an unincorporated territory of the United States. In 1917, the administration of Woodrow Wilson, foreseeing that the United States will enter World War I, declared us U.S. citizens and imposed upon us the right and obligation to kill and be killed for the United States of America. Since then, over 200,000 Puerto Rican soldiers have fought bravely for the United States to defend a nation that later forgets them and advance abroad democracy they lack at home. During 7 decades, your Navy polluted our beaches in the island of Vieques with target practice, detonating over 5 million pounds of ordnance per year. For the past century, Puerto Ricans have made valuable contributions to the United States, working in your agriculture, in your schools, and becoming valuable assets in your highly skilled and professional workforce. We have played and won for your teams. We have entertained you with our music, with our acting, and our magic. Currently, Puerto Rico is going through the worst fiscal crisis in its history. We owe $73 billion to our lenders, and we're not generating enough revenue to pay them back and continue to provide public services for our people. To this day, the United States controls all of Puerto Rico's foreign relations, immigration, customs, postal service, communications, television, radio, commerce, social security, maritime laws, military service, judiciary, tariffs, banks, currency, trade laws, shipping industry, and cabotage laws. And yet, shockingly, we're still not allowed to vote for the President of the United States or have voting representation in the U.S. Congress. With so much control, how can the United States continue to avoid their responsibility with Puerto Rico? Under your watch, unscrupulous politicians exceeded our constitutional debt ceiling.
We will be prosperous if we embrace free trade.
Prosperity from free and fair trade.
U.S. bankers and hedge fund managers preyed on our vulnerable island, snatching most of our debt at steep discounts. Now, they're all pushing for austerity measures, and it's the hard-working Puerto Rican citizens that ones that are being asked to sacrifice and pay, while the extremely wealthy investors are buying all our beachfront properties and making of Puerto Rico a tax haven of the highest order. But still, we trimmed our pensions, subjected Puerto Ricans to 2 gasoline tax hikes in the past year, increased our electrical and water costs, imposed an 11.5% sales tax, laid off workers, increased student tuition and small business tax, while pledging to release a budget that won't rely on debt financing. All that just to meet interest payments, not even capital payments on the $73 billion of public debt. The people of Puerto Rico will pay for all debt lawfully acquired, but big spending cuts and taxes alone won't be enough. We need to increase our economic growth. We need to develop our economy, the one that has been strangled by the Merchant Marine Act of 1920, also known as the Jones Act, an outdated law that forces all shipping to and from U.S. ports to be conducted with U.S. vessels and crews. Because of it, Puerto Rico suffers disproportionate import costs in comparison to neighboring islands, making all imported goods more expensive and diminishing our ability to compete in global markets. Economists have projected that from 1920 through the present, the Jones Act has cost Puerto Rico $75.8 billion, an amount higher than its public debt. For decades, U.S. politicians have been coming to Puerto Rico to raise funds, promising statehood to our people.
The voices of 3.5 million American citizens in Puerto Rico constitutes a formidable force. If you favor statehood as I do, it's important that you vote. Let Congress know now. We are with you and we will support you. Don't send the wrong message.
My friends, as you consider whether or not you wish to continue being part of the United States, I want you to know one thing. The United States will welcome you with open arms. We have always been a land of varied cultural backgrounds and origins, and we believe firmly that our strength is our diversity. There's much Puerto Rico can contribute to our nation, which is why I personally favor statehood. We hope you will join us. Thank you, and God bless you.
In my first State of the Union speech as president, I supported statehood for Puerto Rico. I am certain that Puerto Rico will be welcome as a state. Now, this is a matter for Puerto Ricans to decide, and I urge everyone to vote in the November 14th plebiscite. Puerto Ricans have made many contributions to our nation, many with their lives. And with that in mind, it is my sincere hope that the Puerto Rican people will vote for statehood. Estadidad ahora.
And when the people of Puerto Rico make a clear decision, my administration will stand by you.
Condemning us to a political system in which citizens vote for the political parties that represent the status they favor for the island and not for qualified candidates to manage it. If you didn't make us a state when we had a healthy economy, I won't expect you to do it now. If you oppose Chapter 9 protection for Puerto Rico, even though thousands of U.S. municipalities defaulted on their bonds in the late 1920s and early 1930s, I won't beg you to grant us that either. We are tired of your broken promises of equal opportunities and of all the policies and laws to which our fate is tied. Policies and laws that demean us, that strangle us, and that consistently favor the wealthy and powerful over our average citizens. Our people are going through enormous hardship, and you keep consciously ignoring us. Then you want to go around the world spreading democracy and claiming for voting and equality rights among other nations when you've abandoned 3.6 million U.S. citizens. We know we have failed, but we're willing to make it right. We just request the same thing from you. Derogate the Jones Act to allow non-American ships to carry goods between the island and the mainland in order to lower our shipping costs and give us a real chance to compete in the world economy. Enact for Puerto Rico a visa waiver program similar to the one extended to Guam and the Northern Mariana Islands in order for us to be able to attract visitors, doctors, and students from Central and South America, jump-starting our tourism industry and being able to compete with neighboring islands. Take an active role in solving our financial crisis, working with our government to define a strategy to help us meet our responsibility with bondholders and develop a healthy and sustainable economy. Puerto Rico is an amazing set of islands with beautiful beaches and forests, delicious food, great art and music, but the best thing it has to offer is our people. We have enormous potential and we're willing to work hard to rebuild it for us and for future generations. President Barack Obama, members of Congress, we're not asking for your money or for your pity. We're just asking for you to assume your responsibility and help us get back on our